Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, as you guys can go and see, it looks like PlayStation actually did a pretty big teardown on the PlayStation 5 Pro. Now, as you guys are curious, there has been a little bit more fine-tuned changes when it comes to the internals on the console, and I'm always one of those people I find this stuff very interesting. I love seeing like what kind of change, even if it's a very small thing, such as like a slightly bigger copper wire, which we've actually seen throughout all the PlayStation 1, PS5 1, 1.0, 2.0, 3.0 iterations, and well, it's intriguing to see how they adapt, what they change, and everything else in between. And right now we're getting this exactly from PlayStation's mouth, and I just figured this would be kind of a fun video to go and showcase up to all you guys, and well, let's go and talk about them. So if you guys will sit back, relax, and enjoy, and I'm going to kind of skim through some of it. Some are kind of bigger deals, some are kind of more just kind of quick details, and well, I also don't want to spend another $800 or so to go and completely take apart a PS5 Pro, because I do think, at least for me, I will most likely end up, well, breaking it, missing a wire, or completely having to go and send it back to PlayStation, and then they send an angry email saying, hey, we can't fix this, you're absolutely stupid, you voided the warranty, and then I sit there and cry and wasted $1,000 and make another 800 YouTube videos, take a random crypto gambling sponsor, make everyone go and hate me on the YouTube community, and at that point we sit there and cry, and we never upload a video ever again. I go get a job at Chipotle, and then I also hate my life every single day, because then I sat there realizing I could have all just avoided this by not taking apart my PS5 Pro. Anyway, so if you guys are new, subscribe to the channel if you guys want to. Just do a little fun little video on this one too. We are still technically on break, and I do want to remind folks there's a lot of cool updates in the channel coming up very in the near future, so keep that in mind. Subscribe here. We have the Switch 2 giveaway that'll be linked down below in the description and comic section, and probably going live up on Twitch pretty soon, so check that on out. So anyway, PlayStation had a chance to do a little bit more of a bigger deep dive on the PS5 Pro console and kind of innovating on changing everything else with it, saying the most innovative PlayStation console to date elevates gaming experiences to the next level with features like upgraded GPUs, advanced ray tracing, and PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, which is still being kind of phased out, kind of phased in, we're not really sure, and AI-driven upscaling that delivers super sharp image clarity with high frame rate gameplay. Today we're providing a closer look on the console's internal architecture as Sony's interactive entertainment engineers Shinya Tsushita, PS5 Pro mechanical design lead, and Shinya Hiramatsu and PS5 Pro electrical design lead provide a deep dive into the console's innovation, technology, and design philosophy. So this is all in regards to as well. They're referring to the original PS5 as the original PS5 too as well. PS5 released in 2023 as the current PS5, which is more so the Slim, and then the current Pro is the Pro. And they're also giving everyone warnings to make sure that you don't go and do it. So first and foremost, they had to go and talk about the outside differences of the three. We have the normal PS5, this is the day one console, the Slim iteration 2023 with the Lime, and of course the Pro right afterwards. And they had a chance to go and have these all have different designs, because they had these, blades with the engineering team to basically just enhance airflow while also acting as a design element to make it look slightly nicer, as you guys can see from the pictures themselves. Louvers between the main unit and the cover help to make the console quieter. So the reason why they even did this in the first place is that they have this just make everything run a little bit smoother and have these little like fins, and it basically prevents some fan noise from escaping the console, which I think is kind of smart and kind of cool. Since most users will play games while facing the front of the console, we intentionally designed the system to make it harder for players to hear the fan. So I never knew that. It's kind of a nifty vibe too as well. Also, the background changes too as well. They had a chance in the back of the console to place importance in the types and arrangements of the input-output ports. Since the power button is something everyone uses, there's been a shared understanding among our successive design teams that it's better to have been positioned at the bottom rather than the top when the console is placed vertically. On the other hand, the positions of the HDMI, LAN, and USB ports are placed slightly higher compared to the current PS5. It's because the PS5 Pro's main board features a high-density circuit design, and the port placement has also been adjusted to as well to change these designs out there. Very intriguing to see the differences between the two. Also, the exhaust vent surface is also larger compared to the PS5 models, and air is taken in and exhausted from the rear and bottom surfaces. The size of the intake and exhaust vents is important for better ventilation. We knew from preliminary research that they need to be larger than the current PS5, so we decided on the size after discussing with the design team. So basically make it bigger. So now they start taking it apart. So basically on the previous PS5 models, the dust catcher is provided for cleaning purposes. So basically you have this in case you're curious, just to go make sure everything doesn't get too dusty. And on the bottom side, there is an M.2 SSD slot, a disk drive connector, and a hatch for inserting a coin cell battery. So like the overall normal consoles. The screw holding the battery is intentionally designed to stay attached to the battery cover, preventing it from being lost or accidentally swallowed too as well. I love whenever companies go and do that. They do have a brand new fan too as well. I think after disconnecting the fan cables, we can now remove the blades and inner shell. They're also removing the fan itself. Like they mentioned, it requires more air for cooling because it is just a slightly hotter console, and the fan is designed to generate airflow more efficiently. So overall, just a better fan too as well. It's also better than the current PS5 models, which I think is kind of cool. The two fans have the same number of blades, but our team redesigned the blade shape, which I'm surprised they were even doing this in the first place, for more optimization. If you look closely, you can see that there are even smaller blades in between each blade too, so blades and blades. Generally speaking, if a fan has good airflow efficiency, it's considered better and higher performing. However, we designed our fans to be more than that. We wanted our fans to produce more air quietly, which is also why they redesigned on the outside. I think those kind of nifty features. It may generally be acceptable for fans to be louder as long as it's creating more airflow, but this isn't the case for game consoles as it can disrupt the gameplay experience. I think this specific design philosophy is unique to the PlayStation consoles. Also, all these screws too as well to suppress this actual noise too as well, and it seems like they're trying to make the console quieter, which I actually appreciate. So now let's remove the metal shield located further inside the cabinet. The shield is secured on the main board with a large number of screws, and there's a reason for that. Most components of the main board generate electromagnetic noise. This noise can interfere with nearby electronic devices such as smartphones, which I never knew about this, and potentially disrupt their operations. I did not know this about this at all. We must suppress the amount of electromagnetic emissions to be kept below a certain threshold. I never knew that your PlayStation can completely ruin like your phone and other stuff out there on top of that, but interesting to know. Also, the evolved motherboard that achieves a heightened gameplay. Once we remove the top and bottom shields, you'll reach the PS5 Pro's motherboard. One characteristic of PS5 consoles that they leverage liquid metal with excellent thermal conductivity for the TMI, or thermal interface material, of its main processor. Before they get into the details, they'll give some explanation using the board too as well before the liquid metal is applied. So very intriguing. They just basically have liquid metal to make everything run better. So the PS5 Pro's motherboard is larger than that of the current PS5. The current PS5 model's board is curved where the fan sits, but the PS5 Pro has a larger board due to the increased number of circuits required to achieve PS5 Pro's enhanced performance, which changed the position of the fan. And as they mentioned earlier, you'll notice the location of the input and output ports on the back of the unit is different as well. So it's kind of nifty again to see the two comparisons on these all around to go through these. So basically saying the large chip you see in the center of the board, this chip handles the rendering of the high resolution, high frame graphics, including the PSSR. So this is the brand new chip with it, which is just the AI enhanced resolution for ultra high definition gameplay. And to maximize the performance of this SoC, the power delivery lines have also been enhanced too as well. So basically just putting more power into it. Nifty. So the PS5 Pro board also has more layers compared to the current PS5 because there's just more stuff going on. If you look closely at the surface of the current PS5 model's motherboard, you can see the traces that connect the SoC and RAM. However, on the PS5 Pro's boards, the traces are barely visible on the surface because the motherboard was designed with additional internal layers, basically allowing these all to be more effectively through the console itself. Very, very nifty too as well. So it's just more layers, more in depth. So as they go and compare then the backs of the motherboards, the main visible difference is that the number of RAM placed around the SoC has increased from 8 to 9. All PS5 consoles up to the current PS5 are equipped with 8 chips of high-speed GDD6 memory, GDR6 memory, which handled high-speed rendering for games as well as low-speed processing for the rest of the OS. In the PS5 Pro, we added a 9th DDR5 memory, which is dedicated to the slower processing, while the remaining 8 also memories handle the high-speed rendering required for gameplay. Basically means they have the extra RAM for it just to make sure it's all improved with even better internal improvements nonetheless. Back to the PS5 Pro's motherboard, a 9th DDR memory chip was added to as well in the upper right corner, as you guys can see over there, as well to make it all a little bit more on the official side. So innovation use of the liquid metal became an integral piece of this technology, which is intriguing because some people were worried about this melting. I saw at the very start. Saying liquid metal in the TIM in the original PS5 was quite challenging at the time, since liquid metal has a far superior cooling capabilities compared to conventional TIMs, and they had a chance to adopt it, but it's weird, it might leak around. We spent quite some time conducting research on insulation. When we were designing the original PS5, the basic structure remains the same in the PS5 Pro, but we made some improvements by adding fine grooves where the liquid metal is applied, so that cooling effect is more stable. When we were doing research for the original PS5, we anticipated that semiconductors would continue to advance, become much more denser, so they thought they could basically future-proof the PS5 Pro with this liquid metal technology, and they also thought it was really nifty. I think that's kind of cool too as well. So they also even had a more stronger PS5 power supply outlet. Saying with this is the power supply unit, so it has about 48 more watts compared to the current PS5. Makes sense, stronger GPU, more motherboard, more RAM. Makes sense, it takes more power too as well, and also larger. So the curved power units are meticulously designed for each PS5 iteration, so that it fits perfectly into the chassis. So basically, they just perfectly made these random like Like they're making all these custom making all this type of stuff in the console, which I think is really cool. As well as also have even better place heatsink too as well. So everything's just a lot more efficient. Like I got to give some credit where credit's due. So the heat pipes are made out of copper. The silver components of the heatsink are made out of aluminum to dissipate heat. So you guys just want to go and break apart your console and sell on the liquid copper side, feel free to. So PS5 Sync also has more heat pipes too as well, as the console requires a more powerful heat sink, which also is why the console's even bigger too as well, and it has better fins to transfer everything. Same with as well with this adapted Wi-Fi 7 technology, where they have the brand new Wi-Fi module, and it's also new standard release in 2024, and they want to have all the future potential with it, mainly because for this one too as well, the Wi-Fi 7 wasn't even officially released yet, so they made it kind of hard for them to introduce it to it. But overall, it seems like there's a lot of cool updates. It makes the console a lot more efficient, and at the end of the day, it looks like they actually put some thought and process into it, which I'm very happy to go and see at the end of the day. So give me your thoughts and comments on the PlayStation 5 Pro breakdown, and give me your thoughts on everything down below. Follow the Twitter, the second YouTube account, the Switch giveaway too as well down below, and I appreciate y'all so much for watching in the first place.